Hello, yogis. Let's get right to the mat today. We have a shorter class today, but there's no messing around. We're going to get right to work with our quick hit fix. Okay, so let's start by warming up our wrists. Coming to tabletop position, shoulders over your wrists, knees underneath your hips, drawing your navel to spine so we're not hammocking in the low back, and just start to circle your upper body. Little micro circles of your shoulders over your wrists. And you're going to go the other way. So really acknowledge yourself for coming to the mat today to take care of your vessel, to take care of your energy. Because without that powerful energy, we can't feed our work and our love and everything else that's important in our lives and everyone else that's important in our lives. Take your hands wide on the mat now, fingertips pointing away from each other, and rock side to side. You know, when you get active, especially for, well, any time of the day, but that's why it's a bonus first thing in the morning. When you get active, it boosts your mood for up to 12 hours after class. Okay, so walk your hands now back towards your knees, fingertips pointing toward the knees, curl your toes under. The closer the hands are to the knees, the less intense this will be, and just maybe some little micro rocking back and forth here, or draw the hips back and micro peel the base of your palms away from the ground. So working a lot today on the core and the shoulders. For those days you don't have a full half hour even, but you want to get something in before work or you're crunched on time, this is the class for you. Okay, finger paint your mat now. Shake out your wrists. Let's do 4 cat-cows. So shoulders over wrists again, knees underneath the hips, navel and chin and tailbone lift, breathing in, and then exhale, rounding your spine. Just acquaint yourself with your own unique length of inhale, ride it right to the crown of the head, and then draw that breath back down the spine as you exhale. 2 more. Inhaling, exhaling, and 1 more time, breathing in and breathing out. Now keep your domed back as you stretch your left leg back and stretch your right leg back into your plank pose. Shoulders still over wrists. Root your fingertips down, hug your forearms toward each other, pressing the back of your heart to the sky. Draw your navel to spine like you have a big belt buckle on and you're drawing it to your spine. Ignite your thighs, and then go ahead and make your way back to downward facing dog. Now you might want to add a bit of movement here. You might want to stay static, just moving into your body in a way that feels right, true, and good for you. Staying with that beautiful, steady, even breath. Right, pull yourself into high plank pose, shoulders over top of the wrists again, belt buckle to spine. You're going to take your right leg off the ground, keep the hips and shoulders square, and then bring your right knee in toward the center of your chest. Now, all you're going to do is rest the right knee down for a nanosecond and tuck it back up. 2, tuck it back up. 3, tuck it back up. 1 more time, tuck it back up, stretch the right leg high, bend the right knee and open up your hip. Keeping your hips as level as you can here. 1 more big breath in. Maybe circle out that ankle joint. Square everything off and put the right foot down. Pull yourself to high plank pose again, shoulders over the wrist, and hover the left foot. Hips, shoulders stay square to the earth. Draw left knee to chest, dome back. Press earth away. Now again, rest that left knee on the ground for a nanosecond and tuck it back up. Touch it down. Tuck it back up. Keep that right thigh in ignition. Tuck it back up. 1 more time, tuck it back up, pause, stretch the left leg high, open up your hip as you exhale. Maybe circle the left ankle joint around now if you did it on the other side. Square everything off now, look to your thumbs and step your left foot to the top of the mat, your right foot to the top of the mat. Feet are 2 fists widths apart, that's hip width. Bend your knees quite a bit. You can have the backs of your hands rest to the earth or blocks if you need them. To stretch out the backs of the wrists and forearms again after that little work effort. Let your head hang. Bending your knees a lot will protect your low back and invite your hamstrings to soften. Maybe a little sway here side to side. Pressing down through the floor, coming into core as you round and roll yourself up. Head will be the last thing to come up as you bring your shoulders up, back, and down. Bring your hands to the center of your energetic heart, taking a nice big breath in. Exhale, arms by your side, right into sun salutation A. Inhale, sweeping up. Exhale, hinge and fold. Knees are soft. Half lift and lengthen, breathing in. As you exhale, stepping back to plank, chaturanga, or go right to downward facing dog. pulling through to your back bend of choice, and go over your toes to downward facing dog. Inhale. Exhale, 1. That little micro bend on the elbows and knees as you pull your hips further back in space. Exhale, 2. Lift your heels, bend your knees, look to hand, step or float to the front. Half lift and lengthen, breathing in, and exhale, bow. Root to rise. Inhale, sweeping up. Exhale, folding down. Half lift, breathe in, navel to spine. Breathing out as you move through your high to low chaturanga, plank, or downward facing dog. Gliding through to your up dog. Full inhalation here, broaden through the collarbones, and go over your toes to downward facing dog. Firm with the fingertips and toes. Wrap your triceps to the earth, biceps to the sky, and separate your shoulder blades a little bit away from each other on the back. Lift your heels, bend your knees, step or float to the front. Half lift and lengthen, breathing in, and exhale, bow. Root to rise, new breath in, sweeping up, looking up. Exhale, forward fold. Half lift and lengthen, breathing in. High to low chaturanga as you exhale. Gliding through your back bend. Over your toes, downward facing dog. Breath in and breath out. Keep your neck nice and long and soft, gazing halfway back your mat. All right, lift your heels, bend your knees, look to hand, step or float to the front. Half lift and lengthen, breathing in, and empty as you bow. It's going to change. Inhale, sweeping up. Exhale, forward fold. Half lift and lengthen, and step back to high plank pose and pause. Okay, here's going to be your combination. Take your right hand to your right shoulder, one little lift away like you've got something hot underneath your hand. Put your right hand down. A shoulder tap of left hand, same shoulder. Put the left foot down. All right, now we're going to drop to the flanks of the thighs, never directly on the kneecap. Add a little push-up or no push-up at all, but shoulders are lower than the elbows, straightening out the arms, straightening out the legs, and go back to downward facing dog. 4 more times. Inhale to your high plank pose. Shoulders slightly ahead of the wrists. Right hand to right shoulder. Try not to let the right hip open. Left hand to left shoulder. Left hand down. And again, if you wish, shoulders slightly ahead of the wrist, you're going to find that chaturanga half push-up. Drop the knees if you need. Straighten out the arms and go back to downward facing dog. Inhale to your high plank pose. Right hand, right shoulder. Left hand pulls away left shoulder. Shoulders slightly ahead of the wrist. Your little half push-up here. Press back up and go to downward facing dog. Just 2 more. Inhale to high plank pose. Remember, if you're getting tired, just drop those knees down or no push-up at all. Shoulders slightly ahead of the wrist. Half push-up. Press back up to your high plank and into downward facing dog. Last time, inhale to high plank pose. Pull that right hand away. Pull that left hand away. Bring yourself slightly forward for your half push-up. Press back up and into downward facing dog. Take a nice big breath in as you lift your heels, bend your knees, float to sit right at the top of the mat. Get yourself onto your back. And we're going to do a little double crunch and give our wrists a little break. So knees into your chest. You're going to take your knees into your chest, arms by your side body, palms facing down. Now just do a little tiny lift of your hips, a paper width from the earth, and then tap your toes down, navel drawing to spine. Lifting the hips, tap your toes down. Okay, so you can stay right with this. Option 1, navel drawing to spine, so we're not overarching in the low back as our toes touch down. Or you're going to extend the legs out, hovering them close to the earth, really drawing that belt buckle to spine. So we're sticking these abs in here and there, no worries. 6, stretching out. 5, out. 4, head stays down. 3, that full circumference hug, front, back, sides of core, hugging your spine. Last 2, and 1, and awesome work, you guys. Bring your knees into your chest and rock side to side. Big breath in, and let it go, breath out. All right, we're going to cross the ankles, rock forward, plant your palms, and step back through a vinyasa if you wish, or back to downward facing dog. We're going to find down dog recovery for 3 breaths. Feel free always to take your passive home-based pose of child's pose for recovery as well. Wherever you can connect back best to your breath, to your body. Lift your heels, bend your knees, step or float to the front. Half lift and lengthen, breathing in, and exhale, bow. Root to rise, inhale, sweeping up. Exhale, forward fold. Half lift and lengthen, breathing in. Step back to your high plank pose and pause. All right. So now from here, your high plank pose, you're going to dip 1 foot at a time off the mat. And try to let there be very little wobbling and bouncing in the hips, really drawing that belt buckle to spine. You can stay with this or double it up. Double plank jack. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now let's come on down to the forearms. We're going to do the same thing from the forearms. So elbows under shoulder line, middle finger in line with the elbows, dipping 1 foot at a time off the mat. Belt buckle the spine or double it up. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Straighten out the arms. Drop the knees if you need to get the straight arms again. Shoulders slightly ahead of the wrists. Lower to chaturanga. Pull through to up dog and exhale, downward facing dog. 3 breaths in down dog or child's pose. Exhale, 1. Inhale. Let it go. Exhale, 2. Ha, breath. Shake out your head. Now lift your heels in the inhale. Bend your knees on the exhale. Step or float to the front. Half lift and lengthen. Inhaling. And exhale, bow. Inhale. Sweeping up. Exhale, fold. Half lift and lengthen. Breathing in. And as you exhale, step your feet back to high plank pose. We're going to do very similar to what we just did, but 1 count on each one. So high plank pose, you can step off 1 at a time with your feet or a double plank jack. Come back to the forearms again. Elbows under shoulder line, middle finger in line with the elbows. Out you go, single or double. Back to your high plank pose, out and in. Back to the forearm, out and in. Straighten out the arms, drop the knees if you need to, out and in. Back to the forearms, out and in. Let's do 4 more. Back to the straight arm, out and in. Back to those forearms, out and in. Back to the straight arm, out and in. Back to those forearms, out and in. Back to the straight arm, out and in. Forearm plank, out and in. Last one, guys. Out and in. And 1 more time, out and in. Straighten out the arms. Go to downward facing dog. Lift your heels, bend your knees, float to sit at the front of your mat. Come all the way onto your back and send your heels up to the sky. Arms back down by your side body, palms facing down, head stays down. Imprinting the heels on the ceiling. Let's do 30. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. No rocking of the legs. 10, 2, 2. Imprinting those heels on the ceiling. It might mean that your hips only lift a centimeter from the earth, a paper width. It all counts. 7, 8, 9, 10. Last 10. 9, 8, 7. You're doing great, you guys. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Knees into your chest. Rock a couple times side to side. Take a breath in and a let it go breath out. Breath. Okay. Rock back, rock forward, plant those palms. Move through vinyasa if you wish, high to low, gliding through your back bend, and we'll all meet back downward facing dog. 3 breaths to recover. Breathing in and breathing out. 1. Inhale. Exhale. Now lift the heels, bend the knees, step or float to the front. Half lift and lengthen, breathing in, and exhale, bow. Root to rise, sweeping up, inhaling, and exhale, forward fold. Half lift and lengthen, breathing in, step back, pause, high plank. Okay, so remember, you can do this from the knees. This is last little kicker here, you guys, so let's do it. Bring your right knee to the center of the chest. The only thing that is moving is this right knee tapping down and up. Upper body stays quiet. 2, 3, 4. Doming the back to the ceiling. 6. Hugging your forearms toward each other. 8, 9, 10. Yeah, you have those nice plank arms. Same with the rest of the body. Thighs in ignition. 7, 8, 9, 10. Last 10. 9. Oh yeah, it's cooking now. 8, 7, 6. Navel really draws to spine. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Stretch the right leg back. Go to downward facing dog. Lift your heels, bend your knees, float to sit at the top of the mat. Get your legs back out in front of you. Heels to the ground, hip width apart, hips to the ground. Navel drawing in and up. Head down for a moment, taking your breath in. Keep the thighs in ignition. From knees to armpits, hugging into the center. Peel your head and shoulders away, pulsing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 2, 2. Always feel free to put a hand at the base of the skull if you feel like you're getting any overflow work going on in the neck, okay? Otherwise, back you go. That contraction coming from the center of you. 9, 10. 4, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Last 10. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, head down. Knees into your chest. Rock a couple times side to side. Take a nice breath in. I'll let it go. Breath out. Cross your ankles. Rock forward. Right into your plank pose. We're going to take right on the other side. Shoulders over your wrists. Hover the left leg. Drop right knee down if you need to as you draw left knee to the center of the chest. Keep those nice plank arms. Domed upper back. All that's tapping down is this left knee. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, hug those forearms in. 9, keep the back domed. Number 2, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, back thigh in ignition. 8, 9, 10, last 10, 9, we're almost there, you guys. 8, 7, keep those arms nice and firm. Last 4, 3, 2, and 1. Left knee down, right knee down. Cross your ankles, roll yourself all the way on to your back, knees into your chest for a moment, and then go ahead and straighten those legs out one more time. Heels down, hips down, navel to spine, navel in and up. All we're going to do is hold as we come up this time. So peeling your head and shoulders off the ground. Again, always feel free to put a hand at the base of the skull if you need to. Let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4, thighs in ignition. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 2, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Root the heels down, hips down. 3, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 4, 2. Everything's easier with a strong core, you guys. You know that, and this is going to be done for the rest of your day. 8, 9, 10, or maybe you're squeezing it into midday. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and I'll get you through the rest of the hump of the day. 9 and 10, and awesome work, you guys. Splat on the ground. Great job. Bring your knees into your chest. Rock a couple of times side to side. Big breath in, and I'll let it go. Exhale. Let's fall our knees on over to the left, arms to your cactus, and your gaze in whatever direction feels the best for your low back. Your neck, part of me, would be the best for your low back. They're correlated. So let yourself completely melt on the mat, kind of rinsing out the practice, rinsing out any stress or tension from the spine as you have strengthened and detoxified your vessel so your soul force energy can powerfully serve all areas of your life today as you leave the mat. Bring your knees to the other side, gaze in whatever direction again feels the most relaxing for your neck. One side will certainly be different than the other, especially at the end of a practice. And of course, if you need to take a little more time to do a hip opener or a sun B or getting into a nice back bend to complete your practice. But if you needed a quick hit fix, I'm glad you could join me today. Namaste.